Alright, so quick question for you guys. I guess it's not a quick question because we're making a 10-minute video out of this, but whatever. My question is, do you know the difference between hydrating and moisturizing? This is something I feel like we look over in skincare because a lot of brands use these words interchangeably, so I think we've just gotten so confused that we just kind of ignore it, and a lot of us don't really know the difference between what is hydrating and what is moisturizing. And there is a big difference, and a lot of products do one or the other. Some do both, but oftentimes, for example, dehydrated skin, you need hydration. You still need moisturization, but you kind of are lacking hydration. So understanding the difference between the two can be really beneficial. It can still get confusing, but let's try and find some clarity in this video. My body lacks hydration, but I'm still drinking a Coke. I think caffeine can dehydrate you, but I love me some Coke. Alright, so in the most simplest way I could possibly tell you this, moisturizing has to do with something being occlusive and really locking in moisture in the skin, where hydration is the water content that's present in your skin. So moisturizers lock in the moisture, hydrators are the moisture. Does that make sense? The job of the most simplest moisturizer is to simply lock in water content to prevent from transepidermal water loss, which is the loss of moisture from the skin through like evaporation and stuff. So the job of moisturizer is just to create a seal and kind of lock in our moisture. When you think of hydration, think of the water that we're adding into our skin. Our skin naturally has some water content, but we can get that hydration through products as well. So with moisturizers, think of occlusiveness, and occlusive ingredients include different types of oils, petroleum jelly, mineral oil, different types of silicones, waxes, or butters. These are going to be those things that lock in that moisture. With hydrating products, think of humectants. Humectants are an ingredient that draw water from the environment into our skin. We have the famous types of humectants like hyaluronic acid and glycerin. Those are so well known, and a lot of people love them because it gives you that plump and hydrated look because it's pulling water from the environment into our skin. There are so many humectants besides glycerin and hyaluronic acid. There's polyglutamic acid. Honey is even a humectant. Aloe vera, urea, propylene glycol, sodium hyaluronate, and sodium lactate. All of these ingredients pull water from the environment into your skin. There's also different things that can be hydrating like we discussed in our last video, which is AHA and PHA exfoliants. They are an exfoliant, but they can also be hydrating as well. So you can see how it gets so complicated because there are so many different types of ingredients out there, and you're going to find these ingredients packed into so many different types of products. But not every product is made equally, so let's try and break it down just a little bit and help us understand. So we're going to go through every single step and see if they can be both moisturizing and hydrating, or one or the other. Let's start out with cleansing, which I think can be interesting because it's a wash-off product. So how can a wash-off product be moisturizing or hydrating? Well, cleansers will only be hydrating, they're not going to be moisturizing, but they do often include humectants, which will draw moisture into the skin. There are two really well-known hydrating cleansers, and that's the CeraVe hydrating cleanser and the La Roche-Posay hydrating cleanser. Think of the experience when using these products. Hydrating cleansers will never leave your skin squeaky clean. When looking for a hydrating cleanser, you're looking for something that'll keep that skin barrier intact without stripping the water and the oil content from your skin. Hydrating cleansers tend to be a little bit more gentle. I grabbed this one from Cosrx, which I haven't even tried yet, but I just grabbed it because I saw the ingredients right on front. This is their new Cica Creamy Foam Cleanser, and the first two ingredients are water and glycerin, which is that humectant. Another one is this one by Selfless by Hyron. This is the Centella and Green Tea Cleanser. This has 14.5% glycerin, which will just ultimately hydrate the skin. And so while you're cleansing, these ingredients will pull water into the skin, so it's not going to be as drying as other foam cleansers. Those really foamy, lathering cleansers, when you feel that squeaky clean feeling, that means it's stripping your skin of that water content. So hydrating cleansers with those humectants will really help keep that moisture in the skin. So cleansers are hydrating, they're never going to be moisturizing. If you can find me a moisturizing cleanser, that's going to be weird. I don't think they're out there. However, there can be hydrating and moisturizing toners. See how it can be too much? It can be too much. Simple hydrating toners like this one by Haru Haru. This is their Wonder Black Rice Hyaluronic Toner. This is just a hydrating toner. It is a very simple hydrating toner. If you have dehydrated skin or you're just looking for something to plump the skin, grab a hydrating toner like this. It's going to be simple and it's just going to bring hydration into the skin. Attract that water content and just plump the skin. It's going to be your most simple option. You can get one like this from Glow Recipe. I know we've talked about this toner a lot lately. That PHA, which is that exfoliant, that is hydrating, but it also has cactus water and a bunch of humectants, which will be hydrating as well. Then we can get to toners that can be a little moisturizing as well. But let's talk about how they can be moisturizing. You can get one like this from Monday Born. This is their Source Essence. Another one that's really popular is the Laneige Cream Milk. Both of these are really hydrating, but they're also moisturizing as well, and you can kind of feel it when using these products. Especially someone like me with dry skin, I have to be pretty fast with my routine. Immediately after applying toners or serums, I need to rush over to my moisturizer because my skin is drying. With these two products, you can kind of chill for a second and you feel that satisfaction of it almost moisturizing your skin. It feels very comfortable. And it's because of what's in here, because some of these include oils. This one by Monday Born actually has meadowfoam seed oil and also squalane oil as well. And you can kind of feel it. They're very light oils, so it's not going to feel really heavy on the skin, but you can feel that moisturization happening. I know we always talk about like hydrating toners versus exfoliating toners or treatment toners, but there's such a thing as moisturizing toners as well. Can you skip your moisturizer when using these products? No, but it gives you a little moisturization prior to your actual moisturizer, which I think can be great. Now there's different types of serums which tend to be more hydrating rather than moisturizing, but it depends on the serum. These two serums right here tend to be really hydrating. This is the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum and the Inculus Polyglutamic Acid Serum, which is a humectant. This one's packed with humectants while this one markets itself as a humectant serum. You would use both of these just for hydration or the added benefits of whatever ingredients are in here rather than moisturizing, because there's not really oils in here. There's nothing really occlusive that are in these ingredients. It's just hydrating. But let's get into the complicated ones. The complicated ones are actual moisturizers because they tend to be a little more complex and include both moisturizers and hydrators really across the board. It's going to be rare that you buy a moisturizer that doesn't include hydrators in it. And some like this one by Sweet Chef really say that they hydrate the skin too. So that's where it gets a little confusing. When you read that moisturizers are hydrating and you don't read that they're moisturizing, when really I think the brand's just trying to tell you that along with that moisturization, you're getting hydration as well. You get what I'm saying? But it's hydrating because again, it includes those humectants. This has a ton of humectants in it. It is oil free though, so it's going to be a lighter form of moisturization because again, the added oils will help moisturize your skin. If we're going to talk about a moisturizer that doesn't include humectants, it's going to be good old Vaseline. Vaseline is probably the most like simple moisturizer that you can get because it's just literally petroleum jelly and it's going to act as an occlusive layer on your skin and really lock in that hydration, but it doesn't have anything to add in hydration. Very similar to oils like rosehip oil or squalane oil, argan oil. Literally oils are just moisturizing. They're not hydrating unless they're more complex and they include other ingredients in them, but most of the time you're just buying an oil by itself. So products like these literally just sit on the skin and create a barrier on your skin pretty much and just lock in hydration. Even freaking sunscreens. Sunscreens are moisturizing and hydrating. Oftentimes sunscreen acts as a moisturizer. You can get away with using a sunscreen in place of a moisturizer depending on how moisturizing it is. This one in particular, I don't really do that because of how lightweight it is. But let's take this one for example. This is the Garnier Pore Perfecting Serum Cream Cannabis B. This one, if I use a moisturizer alongside with it, it's going to be way too heavy for me. It has a couple types of silicones in it which really moisturize the skin, but it does also have some hydrators like glycerin in here. This one also has the glycerin and that dimethicone. It's just not as heavy as that one, but it still is a bit moisturizing as well. You get how it can be confusing? Was this video even helpful? I'm confusing myself. Let's just summarize one more time. Moisturizers are occlusive and they act as a layer on top of your skin to really lock in that hydration. Hydrators are humectants that we add into our routine and they draw water from the environment into our skin. Once we add in that hydration, then we add in a moisturizer to lock in that hydration. Okay, I'm getting a headache. Cleansers, they can be hydrating, they're not going to be moisturizing. Toners and essences, more so they're just going to be hydrating, but there's a couple that can be moisturizing as well. Not taking place of your moisturizer, they just have some moisturizing properties to them. Serums, same thing. More so than not, you're going to have a hydrating serum, but some can be moisturizing as well. Moisturizers are going to be complex and they include both moisturizers and hydrators in them, most of the time with some exceptions. Oils tend to be just moisturizers. Sunscreens, more moisturizing but can include hydrators as well. I know it can be confusing, but just think water as hydrating and creams and oils as moisturizing. Really, that's the simplest way you can think about it. I just hope this video helps you realize that there is a difference between the two, and some products can give you more benefits than others when you're trying to target one of those things, whether it's a lack of hydration or a need for more moisturization. All right, you with me? If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them down below. I wish I could sit here and talk to somebody instead of just trying to rant about this myself, because it can be a little confusing because I think a lot of people just kind of grouped the two together for so long. Go look at your products, see if they are moisturizing or hydrating or both, and try and play around with like adding in some extra hydration, grabbing a thicker moisturizer here and there, see what works best with your skin and see if you can kind of tell the difference when adding in certain things and getting rid of others. All right. Thank you all so much for being here and hanging out with me. Before you go, make sure to like this video, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification as always. I will see you all next time. I will try and not confuse you as much in the next video. Bye guys.